I've been living in the state of Florida now for about 3 years, and my home parks are all in Florida, basically the Orlando area. I've been to all the major parks in the state of Florida, including Walt Disney World, Universal, and the 2 SeaWorld parks in the state. They're absolutely amazing, and I've ridden all the major coasters in these parks. Today's video, I'm going to count down my top 10 favorite coasters in the state of Florida. Just remember, these are my opinions. There are no scientific fact on my rankings. Many of you guys may disagree or agree with me, but before we get started on this list, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I would really appreciate if you would subscribe because it would really help me out to reaching that goal. But without further ado, let's waste no more time, let's get into these rankings. The number 10 spot goes to Incredible Hulk Coaster, found at Islands of Adventure. An absolutely amazing B&M sit-down looper. It is probably the most intense coaster in the Orlando area for positive G-force. It is very intense, and I absolutely love the ride. In my opinion, the best seat on the ride is the front row. I actually do get a bit of a headache in the back row, which is really the only reason why I don't rank this ride any higher. Overall, every front row ride I've ever gone on is absolutely amazing, and I love my rides on Hulk. They are probably some of my favorite rides of all time, and they're absolutely amazing. I have a lot of fun in this ride, and it's definitely a must-do whenever I go to Islands of Adventure. And I think it is when you guys do. Very good looking ride. It's very intense. I love that old school B&M feeling. Coming at the number 9 spot is Mind Blower from Fun Spot America in Kissimmee, Florida. This is the only Fun Spot coaster to make the list. Mind Blower is an absolutely amazing ride. It is probably one of the best airtime machines in the state of Florida behind Iron Gwazi. It has some really good ejector airtime. The ride may be actually really rough, but I honestly can get past it and enjoy the airtime and just enjoy the ride experience. And yes, this ride will knock you out after a few rides, but you don't need to ride this over and over again. Usually I can average a bunch of rides every time, but overall it was a really fun ride, and I honestly really enjoyed Mind Blower on my past 2 visits to Fun Spot Kissimmee, and honestly I really liked the ride, and yeah, it's definitely in my opinion a top 10 coaster in Florida and a top 15 coaster for me overall. Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando is coming in at our number 8 spot. Oh my god, this new for 2022 Premier Rides Quadruple Launch Coaster is absolutely phenomenal. The ride has so many good airtime moments. The first half is really surprising, especially on the 3rd and 4th launches. You get some amazing floater airtime on the spike if you're in the back row, and on the 4th launch going into the top hat, the little speed hill is a death hill. The second half has some great airtime moments as well, and a lot of great elements. Every element on this ride basically gives airtime, and it's pretty shocking that this ride has more airtime than the B&M Hyper in this park, which is higher on this list. Icebreaker was definitely the sleeper hit of 2022, and I'm telling you one thing, this is a must ride every time you go to SeaWorld Orlando, and this was definitely a winner on SeaWorld's hands. Hagrid's Magical Creatures is our number 7 spot, and this is a really fun, intimate, multi-launch family coaster. It features the most launches on any coaster, which is a total of 7, and this ride does not disappoint. It's probably the most themed and immersive attraction or roller coaster ever. It is absolutely amazing, and the ride is just so much fun. Despite this may be a family coaster, there's still a lot of awesome things that this ride offers, and it's not really forceful or anything like that. It's just a pure fun ride with some good launches, an amazing drop track. This ride is so complicated, it's so good. I love the ride vehicles. My favorite ride vehicle is honestly the motorbike part. You get really nice open feeling, and it's just honestly a lot of fun. At nighttime, this ride's even better because you have the headlights on each of the ride cars, but even then, it just looks really nice with the Hogwarts castle in the background. Overall, Hagrid's must do for me, honestly. Gotta check it out when you go to Islands of Adventure. Cheetah Hunt is coming in at their number 6 spot. This intimate blitz coaster is an absolutely amazing ride. This coaster opened back up in 2011 and is still probably the star attraction for many people. Many people I know, this is their favorite coaster, and I can understand why. This ride is super fun. It has some pretty good airtime moments. The launches have really good kick and force into them, and overall, this ride may not be the most intense or fun or like best coaster in the world, but it does a lot for what it is. It's a super fun ride, and it really does tell a story. I absolutely love it, and for being Busch Gardens' longest coaster, it's a very fun ride, and I absolutely love what Intamin did with this coaster. It's a very smooth ride, and everything else with this ride is basically perfect with it. The only thing I would say that this ride could improve on is those trains, but there's no replacing those trains really to what I know of, but I wish they would have lap bars. But overall, Cheetah Hunt is a must-do when you go to Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. Coming at number 5 spot, we have Kumba from Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. This B&M sit-down looper was the first ever B&M sit-down looper and is a very intense ride. B&M really did outdo themselves when it came with the intensity of this ride. It's still really smooth for being 30 years old. I love the layout of it, and I just love the setting of this ride. Overall, it's a really fun ride. The Hell Roll, aka the Zero G Roll, is really good with some great airtime. I love the paint scheme. Overall, the Kumba is just an awesome ride. I really like Kumba, and it's definitely, in my opinion, one of the best rides by B&M. It's well paced, it's well executed, the setting looks amazing, and honestly, Busch really does take care of this line. And I've always been saying this, Kumba should have a longer line, but it usually does. But yeah, Kumba, absolute 10 out of 10 for me. I have reason why it's in the top 5 for the best coasters in the state. Coming at the number 4 spot is Montu from Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. Montu is the park's B&M inverted roller coaster and is by far one of my absolutely favorite roller coasters of all time. Montu gives some really good, intense, positive G-force moments, and overall, the ride is just really fun. I love Montu for what it is, and honestly, it really does execute the whole layout. Like with Kumba, it's a very nice looking ride. It actually got recently repainted, so it really does look nice and fresh, especially with its old paint colors back. It was all faded, but now it's nice and bright. I really do like it. I don't know why people don't really like it, but I really like it. The ride overall really intense and really has some great forces. My favorite part, like many, is the Batwing element. Honestly, amazing. And the rest of the 7 inversions are awesome as well. I love how compact the area by where the end of the ride, where the corkscrew goes into the brake run. Very compact, and overall, the ride is well executed and is really smooth. And I'm glad Busch Gardens has been taking care of this ride for 25 years. Coming at the number 3 spot, we have Mako from SeaWorld Orlando. The park's B&M Hyper Roller Coaster is by far the best B&M in the state. There's no doubt about it, this coaster is absolutely amazing. From the amazing first drop to the amazing floater airtime hills. This ride actually gives borderline ejector airtime, especially on that speed hill. You got the amazing 5-second airtime hill, and in my opinion, between the other 2 B&M Hypers I've ridden, Mako is by far the best one out there, and I think it's going to be the best B&M Hyper ever built. You can fight me for that, no, I'm just kidding, but honestly, it's a really good ride, and honestly, it's a must-do at SeaWorld, and SeaWorld definitely had a winner when they built this in 2016, and honestly, it's worth just the trip to SeaWorld Orlando in my opinion. But Mako, honestly, really fun ride, and definitely is a must-do when I go back to SeaWorld Orlando. Coming at the number 2 spot is Velocicoaster at Universal's Islands Adventure. Well, it was previously my favorite coaster of all time, is not anymore, but honestly, even then, it's still an absolutely amazing roller coaster. Universal really outdid themselves, and honestly, the way they made it, it was the full package. Velocicoaster is one of only a few coasters I can ever say was a full package ride. From the amazing themed elements, to the airtime moments, to the inversions, to that full second half, to that Mosasaurus roll. The whole ride, honestly, is just amazing. There is no dull moment on this ride at all. There is no moments where I'm like, yeah, that's okay. Every moment I was blown away. The raptor statues are pretty cool. The whole ride was executed perfectly. And honestly, Jurassic World Velocicoaster was definitely worth the hype, and definitely is worth the fandom that it does have. Honestly, it is definitely a must-do when you go to the Universal Orlando Resort. And I honestly have to say, it was worth a season pass just to Universal. And finally, coming at number 1 spot is Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, my new favorite roller coaster of all time. Iron Gwazi, we've been waiting for this ride for 2 years, but it is finally just opened at the time of recording this video. Posting this video a few days after, but Iron Gwazi is absolutely amazing. And what I consider a full package for an RMC. Airtime, intensity, and inversions. This ride has everything that I wanted in a roller coaster. I actually grade out the bottom of the drop. I get a grab moment at the bottom of the drop. Airtime's amazing. Every element gives some sort of airtime, and the inversions are awesome. The stall is pretty good with some great whip going in and out, and the death roll is absolutely amazing for the speed you get going through it. You don't realize how far you're dropping down on the ride, but off-ride you can. Overall, this ride's absolutely amazing with some amazing pacing. It's probably the best paced RMC I've ridden, and it's definitely up there. The ride time may be a bit short, people may say, but honestly, it feels like it's a long enough ride, and honestly feels like the average length of an RMC. Overall, Iron Gwazi is absolutely amazing, and is my new favorite coaster, and definitely deserved it. It's absolutely amazing. You guys need to come out to Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay and check this ride out, as well as the other rides on this list. So that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Despite this may have just been a top 10, there are still other coasters in the state of Florida that I absolutely love, and if I did like a top 15, you would probably see some of those coasters on there. Overall, I really did enjoy making this video. As much as I've been living in the state of Florida, I have not ridden every coaster, but ridden every major coaster in the state. So this will probably be the list for a while, but once I do get some updated thoughts and maybe some moving around, maybe probably next sure the year after, you might see another video like this. But overall, I really did enjoy making this video. There will be more ranking videos like this coming out soon. So yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe, like the channel, like the video, and subscribe. Make sure you guys share this video to get out there. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye everyone.